So Oscars, which are on in March, I believe, the broadcast. ITV here in the UK are going to be broadcasting the Oscars, apparently, which is great. So we can actually watch them, which is nice. Which nobody will at 1 o'clock in the morning. No, I won't. I'll just probably not go on Twitter or X. Well, you don't have that problem now because are you missing it? Are you missing the wonder? No, I don't go on it as much as I used to. So Blue Sky is a much more friendly place. If I'm being completely honest, it's not absolutely bombarding. And it was nice to actually start afresh, because then instead of just getting rid of certain accounts or whatever on X and then them just flying back into the radar, you just go, well, I want to find me news, so I'll subscribe to Sky News. I want to find me sports, so I'll do Sky Sports. Video games, I'll go IGN GameSpot and here. Movies, I'll go with Bloody Disgusting because I love horror films, and maybe Empire Magazine or something like that. And then you get to curate what you want to actually see. And so it just feels a little bit more of a friendlier place, Blue Sky. Until everybody from X goes over to Blue Sky and then the trolls follow and then it turns into madness and chaos. And but hopefully that won't do that for quite a while. So, yes, Oscar time. How do you want to? You've got all the lists. I've got my little spreadsheet. Odds are the categories are probably in different orders, so I can scroll down to whichever category and mark them off at this end as well. Because I tend to, in the past couple of years, it's like you mark them off, and I'm like, "Where's my notes?" And I've lost the notes. So that's why I'm Google Docking it this year. I did it in the order the way they are on the Oscars official website. Right. So the way I wrote them down was actually in the order that's on the official website. Actually, sort of, up to the point where it gets to Best Picture, because on the website, Best Picture is before production design and live action, short and sound and visual effects and writing original. So I don't know why they've put the Best Picture nominations well before them. So I'll do it up to the point of Best Picture, and then I'll leave that one to last, and then I'll move on to production design from music original score. Yeah. As you said, it's easy to follow. So it is just a prediction game where it is, we'll go through the categories, nominations, and we predict who we think is going to win. Yep. Not who we want to win, just who we think is going to win. Yep. So we'll just kick it off with the straightforward one, which is actor in a leading role. Okay, let me scroll down again because mine. There we go. So Adrian Brody in The Brutalist. Haven't seen The Brutalist. Timothée Chalamet, Complete Unknown. Haven't seen that. Coleman Domingo, Sing Sing. Haven't seen that. Ralph Fiennes, Conclave. Haven't seen that. And Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice. I like Sebastian Stan, but he's the one that stands out in that. We're like, how'd that happen? As much as I like him, I don't think he's going to win at all. Especially for The Apprentice as well. Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay. Having not seen any of those films, I've got to go off instinct. I'd like Adrian Brody to win, but I think it's going to be Chalamet that wins. So you think it's Timothée Chalamet for Complete Unknown? That's the Bob Dylan one, isn't it? It is indeed, yes. Yeah. From the way I think it's going to go, I can easily eliminate two from that list. I don't think it's Ralph Fiennes who's going to win for Conclave. I don't think it's Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. Don't think it's those ones. Coleman Domingo is getting a few little bits and bobs here for Sing Sing. Personally, I do think it actually is going to be Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, despite the fact that the story came out a couple of days ago that the director used AI on his accent. Oh, okay. Oops. So because Brody was supposedly struggling a little bit with his accent in the film to keep it up through the entirety of the movie itself, they actually used AI to touch on his accent to try and actually make it sound more like his character throughout the film. Oops. And so that's the part that I have the major problem. But I still think it's going to be strong enough for him to win it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So next up is actor in a supporting role. Yeah, that's at the very top of my list on that one. So we have Yura Borisov for Anora, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, Ed Norton for A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. Yura was good in Anora. I don't know if it was Oscar material. I'm going Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain, because I want Kieran Culkin to win, and I'll be happy if he did. I'm going the same because Golden Globes is sort of like an indication of how well somebody's going to do with the Oscars, and he won the Golden Globe. Nice.
So that was going to be my choice anyway for that one, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. He's fantastic in the film anyway, so that would be my choice. Actress in a leading role.
In a leading role, I'm guessing I'll be on here. Okay, Cynthia Erivo, Wicked. Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez. I read the blurb for Amelia Perez. I'm like, I really want to watch that. And then I found out it was a musical. I'm like, I don't want to watch that because I'm a bit iffy.
I've seen it.
Is it? What's good? Not good? Yeah.
Check out the musical numbers. It would be a fantastic film. Add the musical numbers in, and it really grates on you.
Yeah,
it really does not need the music. It really, really does not need it at all. Like there is a scene in the film itself where they're singing about a sex change and what goes into actually the process of changing somebody from a man to a woman, because that's the whole point of the film. The whole point of the film is a Mexican cartel person, really notorious cartel person. Throughout his entire life, he's always believed that he should be somebody different. And there is a scene which explains that the fact that he believes that he belongs into a different body. So he fakes his death for him to go through a sex change to turn into the aforementioned Amelia Perez character, to try to start afresh, to start for somebody who can campaign for people who live in Mexico, who are downtrodden, who need a better life. That's the whole process of the film. And the film itself as a drama would have worked a hell of a lot better by adding the musical numbers, especially one that's them singing about somebody wanting a sex change and what goes into the process of it. You're just thinking to yourself, what the hell am I watching? Did somebody just slip something into my drink? So it is that film.
I'm torn between two. Mikey Madison in Honora, she's really, really good. Demi Moore in The Substance. I've not seen The Substance, but I've seen the praise thrown on Demi Moore. I think Demi Moore. As much, I'll be happy if Mikey Madison wins, but I think it's going to be Demi Moore.
See, this is where I would agree. I would absolutely love Demi Moore to win for The Substance. She's not going to win for The Substance. The reason why is because the fact that, yes, it's lovely to see a horror film being nominated, but horror does not do well in acting categories at all. Apart from the obvious one, Anthony Hopkins. But I don't think that I would absolutely love it, and I'll be happy to be wrong, to get this one wrong for Demi Moore to actually win it. But I do think it's going to be Carla Sofia Gascon and Amelia Perez, because Carla, she's the strongest part of the film itself. I think her acting is fantastic in the film. So I really, out of all of them as well, I really hope that Cynthia Erivo does not win for Wicked, because I thought Wicked was very average at best.
Okay.
A supporting actress.
Near the top there. Okay. Monica Barbaro, A Complete Unknown. Ariana Grande, Wicked. Felicity Jones, The Brutalist. Isabella Rossellini, Conclave. And Zoe Saldana, Amelia Perez. Again, a whole bunch of films I have not seen. Monica Barbaro, Complete Unknown. And that is just a complete guess for me.
Again, don't want Ariana Grande to win for Wicked. I hope Wicked wins nothing. No offense to it, but I hope it does win nothing.
It's made money. It's doing all right.
Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez. She's good in the film. She's very, very good in the film. I would love to see Isabella Rossellini win for Conclave. Don't think she will, because I think that film itself is mainly based on the acting rather than the actresses. Unfortunately, I think the actors are more stronger in the film than the actresses. So I don't think she's going to win for that. I think it's going to be Felicity Jones for The Brutalist.
Okay.
It's got to win.
I really do want to watch The Brutalist, actually.
So do I.
It's on my list of things to. Yeah.
Now, this, out of all of them, this is the hardest category for me. Animated feature.
Right. Let me go down. Scroll. Animated feature. Flow. Inside Out 2. Yes, I've seen a film. Memoir of a Snail, cool title. Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. It's got to be a fight between The Wild Robot and Flow, from my instinct. I'm thinking Wild Robot for me.
This is the hardest one for me, because there are 3 films in that list which I would absolutely love to win. That's Flow, Memoir of a Snail, and The Wild Robot. The Wild Robot is fantastic. It's DreamWorks' best film in a hell of a long time. definitely. And it's sad to see that it's DreamWorks' last in-house animated feature, because all of the animated features from now on in are going to be done outsourced, which is annoying. Inside Out 2 can feck off. It can literally just
Did you not like it? I really like that.
It's not as good as the first one, and it's just in there because it's a Disney film, and that's probably going to win because it's a Disney film. And if it does, it will really piss me off. For me, I'm torn between two. It's Flow and Memoir of a Snail. I would absolutely love it if Memoir of a Snail wins it, because I love the fact that it's being recognised, because it's an absolute brilliant film. It made me cry.
Who is going to win?
Flow.
Who's your
Flow?
pick? Flow.
It's when I did my top 10 films of 2024 and bottom films of 2024, my favourite films were actually constantly changing. It was between All of Us Strangers and Flow. All of Us Strangers, I ultimately did name my film of 2024. Flow is the best animated film I've seen since Spirited Away.
Oh.
It honestly is it's that brilliant. A movie that has absolutely no dialogue in it. It's such a captivating film. It made me cry like 3 times in the film itself. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's a phenomenal film. So I really hope that Flow wins it. On animated short.
Right, let me find that animated short. Luckily, I can scroll. Can I find it? Let's have a look. Feature, live action short, animated short. Yeah, Beautiful Men in the Shadow of Cypress or Cyprus. Magic Candies. Is that Candy? Yep, Candies. Wonder to Wonder and Yuck. Haven't seen any of those, so I'm just going purely on the title. In the Shadow of Cypress.
And I think I will go Wonder to Wonder.
Okay.
And the next one I've got on my list is cinematography.
Right, let me find that one. I've just seen that one. So to be fair, I've probably just seen most of them, because there we go. The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, which is like the weird one, sticks out again. Maria and Nosferatu. It's like 3, isn't it? It's The Brutalist, Dune, and Nosferatu. I'm going Dune 2. I want Dune Part 2 to win something. Even though I haven't seen either of those films yet, I've got them on Blu-ray downstairs. You can't knock the cinematography on that one from what I've seen. So I'm going for Dune Part 2.
I would love Nosferatu to win it because, as I said, it's the most colourful monochromatic film I've ever seen. And it's just beautifully shot. But I do think The Brutalist is going to win that one.
Okay.
And the next one I've got on my list,
what's the cinematography like on Emilia Perez? Because it's like, having not seen the film, it just looks like a small film that somehow is going up against these big behemoths like Dune and stuff.
It's nothing we haven't seen before. If you've watched these kind of cartel movies, it's got that kind of feel to it. If you watch these movies where it is about somebody who is trying to do something better for a country, it's got the look of the country itself, which they don't tinker around with it. There are scenes where they go out into desert areas and things like that, and it's fine. It's shot well, but it's not one that makes completely stands out.
Yeah.
Costume design.
This is always a fun one, I think. Costume design, makeup and stuff. Here we go. A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. I mean, there were some cool costumes in Gladiator 2. I'll give them that. Conclave is probably all samey. It's all probably Pope robes and stuff, isn't it? I would have thought. Wicked. I know you're not happy because you don't want Wicked to win anything, but I'm going to put Wicked down for that one.
I'm going Nosferatu.
I thought you might. I'll be happy if Nosferatu wins.
So would I, because Gladiator 2, same again, it's very similar to Emilia Perez for cinematography. It's just stuff we've seen before. It's like they're just taken the leftover costumes from the first Gladiator and just said, wear these.
Yeah.
There's nothing different. Conclave, the costumes in it look brilliant. They are proper, genuine looking costumes. They look like Pope costumes, etc., that you would actually find there. And from the stuff that I've seen of Complete Unknown, yeah, he does look like Bob Dylan. It looks like it's from the era of that. Is it anything special? Not really. So, and Wicked again can feck off.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going Nosferatu. Director.
Right.
Best director.
This is like an unusual list to me because usually there's one where you go, oh, that person. I mean, Denis should definitely be in there. So I don't know what happened with that one. Sean Baker, I thought Anora was really good, but again, I didn't watch that going. That directing is fantastic. Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, James Mangold for Complete Unknown, Jacques Audiard for Amelia Perez, and Coralie Barjet for The Substance. Probably killed their name there. I think it's going to be Brady for The Brutalist.
Well done on attempting the last two names. Obviously, with them being French, it's Jacques Audiard. Yes. You don't see it with the D on the end. Who did A Prophet and Rust and Bone.
I really want to watch A Prophet. I missed that when it came out.
A Prophet's fantastic.
It's one of those things where I'm like, I've not seen that yet.
And if you haven't seen Rust and Bone, I highly recommend it. It's an absolutely outstanding film. Rust and Bone.
Either.
I really recommend that. And Coralie Fargier, again, French director, The Substance, which she did Revenge, which it goes from doing Revenge to...
Revenge was really good.
The Substance. Unfortunately, I would love Coralie Fargier to win it. Absolutely, I was ecstatic because I was sat in work when they were actually relaying what the nominations were, and when it was just a quiet little element, and when Coralie Fargier was actually nominated for The Substance, I was like, yes, the sad over that I actually am. And I would love to win it, but female directors don't win Oscars that often.
No.
So I would absolutely love Coralie Fargier to win it. But I've got a feeling, because it's a very Oscar kind of film, it's going to be Jacques Audiard who's going to win for Amelia Perez.
Yeah.
Next up, documentary.
Black Box Diaries, No Other Land, Porcelain War, Soundtrack in a Coup d'etat, and Sugarcane. Soundtrack to a coup d'etat, just because, the name looks kind of that one.
I'll go with Porcelain War because it's got the word war in it, and it might speak to the Oscar panel. Documentary short,
Death by Numbers, I Am Ready, Warden, Incident, Instruments of a Beating Heart, and The Only Girl in the Orchestra. Instruments of a Beating Heart. I don't know why, it just sounds Oscar-y, that one.
And I'll go with the other musical one there, The Only Girl in the Orchestra. We'll keep it music.
Yeah, why?
Film editing.
Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez, and Wicked. Anora did have some good editing. I think The Brutalist.
Yeah, I don't think Amelia Perez, the editing is anything special. Wicked, again, can feck off. Let's go. I'll just be different. I'll go with Conclave. Be nice to actually see Conclave win something. So I'll go with Conclave.
I do want to watch Conclave, actually, but...
International film.
Right. I'm Still Here, The Girl with the Needle, Amelia Perez, The Seed of the Sacred Fig, and Flow. I'm going Flow just because you said it's really good. So that's interesting that it's in more than one category.
Again, I was up. What I find funny is Flow is the first Latvian film to be nominated for an Oscar. So it's now got 2 nominations. So Latvia has never had a film nominated for any Oscar in its history. This is the first one. Flow is a silent film.
Okay.
Yet I always find it funny when a film is silent and it gets nominated for international film that it has not one single word of dialogue in it.
Yeah, so it's like, well, what does it matter? It's just, you put it in anyone, couldn't you?
It's just like if The Red Turtle, for example, was nominated for international film, considering that it was made by a director who's from Denmark. It was shot in a studio, or some of the animation was done in a studio in the UK and in France, and the editing was done in Germany. So which one do you nominate it for? Which one of the countries it's from?
Exactly.
The Girl with the Needle, I so desperately want to see that film. I've heard nothing but good things about that film. I've seen the trailer for it, and I really do want to see that film. Amelia Perez, I hope it doesn't win it, because the annoyance is, yes, it's directed by a French director, but it's about Mexican culture and with Spanish dialogue, where the director can't even speak a single word of Spanish, which I found it interesting that he directs a movie with Spanish dialogue in it, despite the fact that he can't speak the language. And he gets pretty much every single actress and actor in it that is not Mexican, apart from one. So I hope it doesn't win. I'm going with Flow just because I'm biased.
Yeah.
Makeup and hairstyle.
Makeup and hairstyle. Where is that one? That will be. Let me scroll up there. A Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. I've got Nosferatu, surely. Has to be, doesn't it? Because of the nature of that film. I'm going to go for that one.
Yeah.
Although The Substance was that more visual effects, or was that makeup? With the whole body transformation stuff.
There is a few makeup parts, but in the last 10, 15 minutes, when it goes to body horror, it is more sort of like effects and stuff like that. So that's what ruled it out for me. Again, Emilia Perez, nothing special in regards to that. Nosferatu, yeah, I would go with that. But against my judgment, I am going for Wicked. The only thing is, the only reason why I am going for that, it's one of the only good things about that film.
Right.
Like the costumes and stuff like that, and the makeup, it must have took ages to actually do it. Yep. So I'll go for Wicked, despite my better judgment. Music, original score.
Music, right. The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. See, you've got to separate original score from songs, haven't you? So a lot of people look like Wicked because the songs are great. Yeah, not original and it's not a score. Brutalist.
I'm going The Wild Robot. The music in The Wild Robot is outstanding. It has that sweeping kind of nature, which sort of like grasps hold of people. So I think I'll win for that. And then music, original song.
Right, music, original song, which apparently they're not performing those this year, are they?
Nope, because they're not strong.
No. El Mal from Emilia Perez, The Journey from 6888, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino from Emilia Perez, and Never Too Late from Elton John. Never Too Late. I haven't even said that one. That's a documentary thing, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's got to be one from Emilia Perez, I suspect. So I think Mi Camino.
I'm not nominating any of them because I hated the music in that film. I'm going with like a Bird from Sing Sing.
Sing Sing, right.
And then we're skipping this picture for last. So production design.
The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. Some strong ones in there, I think. I think Dune, I think Nosferatu, and I think Wicked. Because whether you like Wicked or not, it looks pretty damn impressive. So for Wicked. But I would like Dune Part 2 to win something, but I think it's going to be Wicked.
I'm actually going with Dune.
Good.
Part 2 for that.
Glad one of us has.
Just because of the sweeping nature, it takes a lot to actually do films on that kind of scale. Live action short.
Live action short. For those listening, we haven't too many left, so don't worry about it. But you can get to the end, promise.
5 left.
Yep. Alien. Yes, there's a space between the A and the L. Anusha, I'm Not a Robot, The Last Ranger, and The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent. The Last Ranger. Going for. Haven't seen any of them.
I'm Not a Robot.
We know that, but what are you going for?
I'm Not a Robot. Sound.
Sound. Right.
Best sound.
Surely this one, the one that I hope is in here. Sound. Right. A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and Wild Robot. Dune. Come on. It has to be Dune. I'm going Dune. Part 2.
I'll stick with you on that one. Because the Wild Robot, I'm going with the score for the Wild Robot. But the sound, I think, Dune Part 2. Visual effects.
Visual effects, Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. Some strong ones in there, to be fair, visual effects wise. Planet of the Apes.
I'm going with Dune Part 2 on that one. I'm not going with Alien Romulus because it took the DVD/digital release for Alien Romulus to fix its biggest problem when it comes to special effects in that film.
The Ian Holm
because even the director turned around and says he wasn't happy with it. So he actually went back and touched it up for the digital release of the film.
He could have talked himself out of an Oscar there, couldn't he? If he'd have just shut up and just done it quietly. He did.
Writing adapted.
Writing adapted.
The adapted screenplay.
Adapted screenplay. Right, there we go. A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. Nickel Boys I do want to watch, actually. A Complete Unknown.
I didn't even know Emilia Perez was actually based on a novel.
With songs, apparently. I wonder if the songs were in the novel. See, that's quite clever, actually. If they've put songs in something that's based on a novel that didn't have songs in it, it's kind of clever. Still don't want to watch it.
Not as bad as the songs are. I think it will be Emilia Perez. And writing, original.
Writing, that is right under where I am, so that's good. Anora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5, The Substance. I really want to watch September 5. That's like, out of the films, I'm put that in my eyes now. I do want to watch that one. The Brutalist, I think.
I'm going to Nora. And finally, last but not least, it is Best Picture.
So we have got 10 on this one, right? I've not seen many of these. I've seen Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. I liked Anora, but I think The Brutalist is going to win Best Picture. But I'd be really happy if Dune Part 2 won. To be fair, just let it have something.
It's not going to win.
It's not, is it?
The ones that you can instantly throw out that are not going to win. Conclave is not going to win. Dune Part 2 is not going to win. Wicked's not going to win. The Substance is not going to win, unfortunately, for The Substance. I'm actually going with Emilia Perez, unfortunately, because it is a very Oscar-baited kind of film. I think it's a two-horse race. It's between The Brutalist and Emilia Perez. That's my personal thing that I think is going to win out of those two. And I think Emilia Perez is going to win. What I find interesting, though, is that if Emilia Perez does actually win the film for Best Picture at the Oscars, I did a quick sort of like look around of the films that won Best Picture over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Based on their IMDb and their critics score. So based on their IMDb and their critics score, the lowest one with the critics score that won an Oscar was Crash, won for Best Picture in 2006. Yep. That had a critics score of 66 and an IMDb score, which is obviously people who rate them, of 7.7. The lowest IMDb score from people is actually Emilia Perez. It's got a 6.2. But it's got a 71 on a critic score. So it'll actually be one of the lowest winners of Best Picture from an IMDb / critic point of view. Like the next one, where if you look at the IMDb score against critics, there's a lot of them are in the 90s and 80s, but Crash is sort of like the standout one. For example, Moonlight, that's got the biggest gap from the IMDb to the critic score. It's got in Moonlight 7.4 from people who watched it, and then 99 on a critic score.
Wow.
So it'll just be interesting, but I do think Emilia Perez will actually win Best Picture.
Wow. What do you think of overall? I mean, I don't think there's any snubs. I mean, I'm surprised that Denis was left out for Dune Part 2. But other than that,
it wasn't a huge, massive, strong year, if I'm being completely honest. It wasn't like that kind of film where it is, that's definitely going to win it. Like the Oppenheimer, Barbenheimer kind of situation where you knew Oppenheimer was going to beat Barbie when it comes to awards, the biggest ones, but Barbie was going to beat Oppenheimer when it comes to box office.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything like that in 2024. So there wasn't any huge, massive standouts. And then Emilia Perez doing the thing where it's been nominated for 13 Oscars. That's the biggest shock. Nominated for more Oscars than it definitely deserves to be.
Yeah. And I can't bash it too much because I've not seen it. It just doesn't stand out as I mean, you look at something like The Brutalist and you go, I get why that would be nominated for like lots. And I look at something like Emilia Perez and I'm like, I don't quite get why that's gained that many.
You'll probably eventually get around to watching it because it's on Netflix. So
yeah, it is. Yeah, we saw it there last night. We're like, oh, maybe watch it at some point. But there's just too many films to watch, not enough time. It's that age-old problem, isn't it?
What's also interesting is the last time a Netflix film was nominated under Best Picture, it won. And that was Coda in 2022. Coda it's a Netflix film, which now you can't actually watch it on Netflix. You can only watch it on Apple TV Plus. But that won Best Picture Oscar in 2022. And so that was the last film that was nominated for, I know it's only been a few years, but a Netflix film that was nominated for Best Picture, it won. So that might actually put good standard for Emilia Perez.
Yeah. But what do we know? This is, I mean, for me, most of this is guesswork. Obviously, it's kind of estimated guesswork for us both, really, isn't it? But
yeah,
it's something fun we do this time of the year, and then we'll reconvene to finish the Oscars thing in March, the beginning of March after the ceremony, and we'll see who got more points. Now, last time we had a challenge, didn't we? Whoever lost had to do something. I think I ended up watching My Life as a Zucchini or a Courgette, and you said Corvette then. That's a different film, which I really loved. So I did come out as a winner because I lost, because I got to watch a really cool film. So
yeah, so we'll just do pretty much the same. Whoever wins, they've got to choose a film for the loser to watch, no matter what film it actually is.
Yeah.
So we'll just stick with that. No disgusting challenges or anything like that. No. Just something very simple.
We do it to be fun, not do it to be absolutely mean. So, it's like you're not telling me to watch the Guinea Pig trilogy or whatever. Like, no, don't do that to me.
It can be any film that you should be able to watch, to be able to get hold of, whether it be on a streaming platform or you might have the easy access to the Blu-ray/DVD. Not a film like the Guinea Pig films or the August Undergrounds, because you're going to have to go to specific lengths to actually be able to find those films anywhere. Even though some of the films actually do crop up on YouTube, of all places, and Tubi.
Yeah,
I don't think Tubi has got a filter.
I do have Tubi, and I need to investigate that a bit more. I have the apps on my TV, and I just don't venture into, like you said earlier on, it's like if you get free Netflix, that's normally, hey, I've got Netflix for free. I need to go use that, even though you don't, because it's free. So it's not like you're trying to get your money's worth. But for some reason, that at the minute is my go-to place when I'm trying to find a film to watch. Either that or my physical media collection. So.
Mm-hmm. I think the reason why Tubi does it is because they're not as governed as much or as harshly as Netflix and Amazon Prime and all that kind of stuff. So they've got some films in there which are technically classified as unrated movies on Tubi. So yeah, it's a hodgepodge of stuff. So if you're looking for an extreme film, there's a few around on Tubi.